recognize that fundamental to this is consciousness. It's not just physical contact. There's consciousness involved. I wrote a book back in 2005 called Supernatural Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind. And it is astonishing, Joe, how encounters that were described as encounters with elves and fairies in the Middle Ages, encounters that shamans to this day describe as encounters with spirits, that all the characteristics of those encounters apply to encounters with so-called extraterrestrials today. It's as though in each generation, each civilization, we construe experiences according to our cultural background. So they called them fairies and elves in the Middle Ages. Shamans called them spirits. We call them ETs today. But if we're really going to crack this problem, and it is a problem, and it is a mystery, I'm not dismissing it, it's a very important mystery. If we're going to crack it, we're going to have to use psychedelics to explore the mysteries of consciousness.
Yeah, I'm very excited that the attitudes about this stuff from the general public, people are much more open-minded now than ever before.
Yeah.
I mean, ever in my lifetime. I remember discussing with people doing DMT in the early 2000s, and people are like, what is wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you crazy?
Exactly.
And now almost everybody and their cousin has a story about, trying ayahuasca or doing psilocybin or having some sort of an experience with peyote.
Yeah, it's very very widespread, and I would say it's part of an overall change in our society, which is extremely healthy, which is the change of just accepting what the experts tell us. Oh, a scientist said this, so it must be true. We're starting to think for ourselves, and we're not willing any longer to be told what to think. We're wanting to find out for ourselves, and that attitude has very much affected the way that people relate to psychedelics. And when people explore the psychedelic experience in a responsible way, and psychedelics are very serious business. You and I both know this. They're very, very serious business. I would not encourage children to take psychedelics, but actually, if we want to keep children away from psychedelics, it would be far better to make them legal than leave them illegal and available on the black market. I think it's something for the mature mind. But I regard it as a fundamental human right of adults to be able to explore our own consciousness, so long as we do no harm to others. And I see this attitude spreading much more widely in society. What the hell is that guy in a suit? What right has he got to tell me how I treat my own health or how I treat my own consciousness? So long as I do no harm to others, that is entirely my business and nobody else's.
Agreed. And if this is the source of civilization, or one of the reasons why people were able to think so creatively and create these incredible structures thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, this all does coincide with this work about these apocalyptic scenarios that you guys are talking about, because if we don't have an understanding of how we got to where we were, and we also don't have an understanding that this can happen to us again. It's very possible for it to happen again.
It's indeed possible for it to happen again. And in the 8th episode of Ancient Apocalypse, one of the scientists from the Comet Research Group makes that point, that the comet that disintegrated, that caused so much damage on Earth 12,800 years ago, its debris stream is still in orbit. The Earth passes through it twice a year. And in the next 30 years, we're going to be passing through a very lumpy bit of this 30 million kilometer wide debris stream. It's called the Taurid meteor stream. We should be paying much more attention to that, because it's not doom and gloom, because we can do something about it should we choose to do so. And let's stop focusing all our efforts on fighting one another and hating one another and filling the world with anger and fury. And let's work together as a human species to make life on this planet better for everybody. That's what's going on now. There's a new mindset which is coming into force, and I celebrate the youth of our society today, because they are refusing to be bound by the orders.
Is your name Isla? Am I saying that correct?
By the powers that be. There's a new spirit of thinking for ourselves, and that new spirit is, in my view, going to change everything. It seems like a dark time right now. A lot of stuff is going on. That's always the case when you're in the middle of a paradigm shift. It seems like a dark time, but we're privileged to live at this time, because 200-300 years from now, This time is going to be looked back on as a turning point in the human story.
We might mention that, speaking of the torrid meteor shower, we are passing through the torrid meteor stream right now as we speak.
As we speak, yeah.
Late October to about the second week in November, up to about the 15th or 17th of November, Earth is passing through that stream. And it probably is the most important meteor stream in terms of the history of recent life on this planet. And this goes, to people like Bill Napier and all of those guys who
major astronomers are very aware of this, and it's almost like something is trying to shut them down, stop the word getting out there. Yes, NASA has a search for near-Earth asteroids, but weirdly they're not paying any attention to the torrid meteor stream. We know that there's 200 objects in the torrid meteor stream that are a kilometer or more in diameter. Comet Encke, which is at the heart of the stream, is almost 5 kilometers in diameter. These are all fragments of that original giant comet that began to disintegrate 12,800 years ago, and that the Earth ran into.
So is this, what are you showing me, Terry?
There's a video on Twitter of the torrid meteor stream.
That's a great time to see shooting stars.
Fireball pop up.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what happens. We're in that time period now, and fortunately, most of those fireballs are caused by little objects. Maybe the size of your fist, maybe just the size of a fingertip, maybe just a speck of dust burning up into the atmosphere. But they are shrouding very large objects that are on that same orbital trajectory which the Earth crosses twice a year. And we should be paying attention to those large objects because we can actually do something about them. And the evidence shows that they did something terrible to the Earth 12,800 years ago. And they chipped.
Okay, we're done with that. Good morning, God seeking. Good morning, Donald. Uh-oh. You all right, Jack? Jack, you don't look very happy, sir. Okay. You know better. I know. There we go. There you are, Donald. Beautiful Irish setter. Thank you. He's being rude right now. I tell him he's not supposed to do this when he's on camera, but give me a second. Hey. It's okay, okay? All right? Yeah. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it. Leave it. JB, good morning. Hi, Ryder. It is 3:04 a.m. I have a cow. All right, Mr. Liquor, that's enough. That's enough. Donald says I had a female when I was a kid. Her name was Natasha. Aw. My cousins had 2 Irish setters when I was growing up. Ryder says I really don't go to bed. I like staying up. So do you eventually fall asleep, Ryder? Take a nap in the day and don't go to bed at night. So you basically stay up all night and nap during the day. I'm fond of naps. And sometimes I will fall asleep. 600 Plant Life, hello. 600 Plant Life has a strong opinion. That's so funny. I was just listening to Graham Hancock about psychedelics in the use of opening up your consciousness. Ryder says I got to go. Bye, guys. Bye, Ryder. So good to see you. It's been forever. Donna says, is yours afraid of thunder? Natasha was terrified of thunder. No, not at all. Only thing that gets him going, and it's not a fear, it excites him and it gets him really riled up, is when he hears gunshots. Stop. That's enough. That's enough, buddy. No more. No more. No more. No, you're not licking me. You're gross. Are we done? Are we done? He's so sweet. Yeah, gunshots. And we live in Tennessee. So everybody has a gun and everybody's out there in their yard using it. So he gets riled up. We were outside yesterday mowing, and of course it was a nice day, so people were out target practicing. So he was running most of the afternoon. Donald says, now I have an Italian King Corso, Mr. Remington. How neat. I remember when I was a kid, I probably wasn't a kid, my brothers were kids. We had a Mastiff, not a Bull Mastiff, just a Mastiff, and that was kind of popular back then. Now the Cane Corsos seem to be the big dogs that are so popular. Neat dogs. I've never met one in person, just what I see on videos. Neat dogs. When I moved away from home, I got a tiny little teacup Chihuahua. I went totally the opposite. Are you in Nashville, Donald? God seeking this dog must be your child. Absolutely. Actually, I do. I treat him like a child, my child. Like I go to work and I'm like, I have to go home and feed my dog. I have to go home and let my dog out. My dog doesn't feel well. I have to stay home from work. But mostly he's just my very best friend. Good morning, Lee. Lee, I've had your videos. I had to switch around the TV. So now you're in the room with Jack. So Jack gets used to your voice. It'll be like he's meeting his best friend that he sees every day. And Lee says hey to everybody in chat. Lee says, oh, that's even better. He'll never get used to me. Or he will get used to you, yes. I am well. I was asking myself that this morning. Which reminds me, I was listening to, have you ever listened to or read a little bit of the Seth series by Jane Roberts? He was talking about how every morning we wake up with an idea of how our day is going to be, and then we create that. I can't remember the exact wording. Donald says, no, I live in Central Florida in a town called Bushnell. My brother lives in Tennessee, though. I used to deliver to Publix in Pigeon Forge. Okay. I came from Central Florida, DeLand, Orange City, Deltona-ish area. I lived in a small town in that area, about 20 minutes from the beach. Jack's personality changes so much as soon as I turn on the camera. I guess it's the talking. Careful, boy, you'll fall off the bed. I think it was in, oh gosh, I'm going to get confused. Seth was a channeled entity in New York, Elmira, New York, by a woman named Jane Roberts. And there's a lot more books than I realized, but I think, where are my books? My daughter took one, and now I don't know where my other book is. But he's got Seth Speaks, The Magical Approach, and The Nature of Personal Reality. And it just gives you a real glimpse into what the spiritual side of us, maybe? I don't even know. Okay, yes. I think he is invaluable. Not just Jack, but Seth. That's what we talk about when we say we're Sething something. Seth talks about how to manifest. He's a good boy. Are we good? Are we done? All right. Lee says, to be honest, I don't read much nowadays. Me either. I stopped in 2009. I used to be a one of those people who had my nose in a book every chance I could get, and I lost myself in stories. And in 2009, I stopped reading, but I listen to audiobooks now. It's not the same, but that's probably why I only retain half the information. Not even half, just little bits of stuff I hear, because I listen to it a lot when I'm at work or mowing the lawn. Donald says, are you a coast-to-coast radio listener? Yes, I used to be. Absolutely. I'm into it. Lee says, I'm reading Astral Projection. You're reading about Astral Projection, Lee? That's so interesting. I don't know. I'm just starting to acknowledge things. So Astral Projection seems really advanced. All right, that's enough. Stop all the itching. You've been fine. You're just doing it to get attention. I know you are. I know you are. Okay. Yes, I know. I know. Ridiculous. Oh, hey, you're going to fall off the bed, and I'm not saving you. You're going to fall. There you go. You're falling off the bed, sir. Donald said, I used to deliver. Oh, yes, you used to deliver the Publix in Deltona. You delivered eggs for 25 years. Wow. Publix is, I'll just tell you, Publix is one of the best grocery stores out there. As far as, I mean, you guys, a lot of the stores are good at giving a good face. Like they look really good on the sales floor, but if you go into the back room, it's a nightmare. Publix is one of the ones that is not like that. But I work for Pepsi, and it's a nightmare working for them in the back room. Just it's a lot, but it's very clean. Good morning, MK. Let me go down a little bit. Did I read that Lee says, yes, the science behind it says it's possible for all? Beyond the Body by Susan J. Blackmore. I'll ask you again, Lee, if I'm ever open to it. Dundee, good morning. I said that already. God Seeking says, don't let them cut your cord in the astral realm, Lee. Lee says, Out of Body Experience, The History and Science of Astral Travel by Anthony Peake. Lee says, agree, God Seeking. I've run a few close calls. Oh, and Marvin says hello to Lee. Brain work. Brain mouth. Let's go. Ouch. I had a sticker in my foot yesterday and it's still there. Well, Jack's gone to the bathroom. Or he's really just gone to escape the camera, to be honest. Lee says, I just feel closer to other worlds when There to the ancestors. Well, that's pretty obviously with your mudlarking and your knowledge of history. It's amazing. Okay, he's scratching at the door. He's ready to come in. What are you doing, silly? You're just being a big old silly boy. Big old, don't you don't. Oh, you're gonna hurt me. Be sweet. Be sweet. I love you. All right, that's fine. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's he's nibbling at my robe, my arms. Ow! Stop! Jackie's afraid to beat up because I am not it. Stop! Ow! No more. No more. Oh my gosh. That hurt, buddy. I knew he was acting up just for attention. Ow! No more. That is not nice. Stop. No biting. No nibbling. Here. Get your monkey. Where's your monkey? Go get your monkey. Where's your monkey? There's your monkey. Yes. Good job. Yes. Oh my. Wow. He got me good. Lee says, so I had some news. What's your news, Lee? Donald says Publix by far the top supermarket chain in the country. I've delivered to every supermarket chain in the country. Even though Publix is only in the Southeast, they should be the model to follow for sure. Lee says sudden energy rush. Yes. Jack. I told you he was fine, and then I turned on the camera and he started licking his body up and down and would not stop. And he's just trying to get my attention. He's like a child because I'm talking to somebody else. Lee says, I have had my job offer person and sponsor submit my application to the Home Office and the Department of Labor. That is awesome, Lee. I'm so glad to hear that. Somebody's decided to eat. Imagine that. That's really exciting, Lee. I'm so happy for you. Jack, do you want me to tighten your collar? Come here for a second. Come here. No? Okay. Carl, good morning. How are you, Carl? A skinny boy. He's a skinny boy. A little bit better? Okay. I love him. I love you. Yes, I do. All right. Yeah, Lee says if it's accepted and given here, I will move to the USA. That's exciting. We need you here. Christina, hello. Good morning. And hello, William. Did I already say hello? William, good morning. I was wrapped up in Lee's news. Donald says Chobani yogurt. Each cup has 11 grams of protein and less than 70 calories. No lactose. Chobani zero sugar flavors are lactose free, gluten free, no preservatives. 1 large spoon a day for the dog. What will that do for him? I really wish I had figured out what to give him when he was taking antibiotics because it made him miserable. I'll never do it again. I'll look for a natural way next time. Marlon found a friend to speak another language to. Oh, really? Okay. Carl says, I'd never move to the USA. I wouldn't either if I was you, Carl, just because Ireland is so beautiful. Donald says, it stops the skin itching. I've used it on all of my dogs. None of them have had the itching or heat spots. It kills the yeast in their system, stops the skin itching. I've used it on... Okay. Yeah. I absolutely. I like Chobani myself. William says, Quakos 000, I think, has 17 grams of protein. Donald says, start using, and you will notice the difference within days. It also keeps infections out of their paws caused by yeast. It's a really good idea because, like I said, as soon as I turn the camera on, he gets fixated on scratching himself. And he doesn't do it any other time. And I know that can eventually cause some bad habits. Lee says natural always best, but antibiotics help faster, which sometimes is needed. William saying hi to everybody. William agrees. Publix is definitely one of the best chains. Yeah, and my ex used to work for them too. They were very good to their employees. Lee says, I should be able to start my new year in USA, living and working. And was that in North Carolina, Lee? If it all happens. My groomer keeps telling me Jack has some dry skin, which is why he doesn't get bathed very often. But she never tells me what to do. So the yogurt will definitely be something I try. I wonder, William, too. William says, I wonder if it's because dogs have a greater level of perception and the camera being faced towards him affects him. I used to have the live stream up on the big TV. so I could see the chat better. But then Jack could see himself, and he did not like it. He did not react well. So there's definitely some awareness going on there. Lee says, yes, all over North Carolina. Not far from Tennessee, and also can metal detect gold pan and hunt ancient shark teeth. Oh, how very cool. You will have to tell me all about this because I'm wondering if we even have stuff to find here like you find all the time, Lee. Yeah, and Lee says, yes, remember animals see more than us. It's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking he's just a dumb animal and he's not aware. But I guess if you spend some time with your animals, you really start to understand there's more there going on. Speaking of dumb animals, I have to laugh because I might get a little sad. Anyways, I lost a chicken. I don't know where she went. I had 10, now I have 9. And the one that's missing is the one that lost her baby. And she's never been part of the flock. She will sleep by herself. She'd often sleep outside of the hen house. And she always escaped the electric fence. She went right through it. She did not care. She had to get away from everybody. So I noticed yesterday when I was out there. And then I watched when they went to bed. So, yeah. Carl says, all of my friends are leaving America. I bet they are. Political situation is not making a lot of people really happy. Hi. Hey, Donald, thank you for that tip, by the way. Oh, that was a good burp, Jack. Lisa, sorry to hear that, Cat. Yeah, me too. I just hope it was easy. Hope it was easy for her. Or maybe she's just hiding in a tree. Who knows? William says, I am stressed and still trying to find work. Work I want to do with my life. Friend, I'm no longer stressed about it, but same. I don't know what work I want to do with my life. I wish I could be paid to be a biblical scholar or something. Frustrating that everyone now seems to be gaining personal profit from helping others, and doesn't surprise me that people are leaving. Where else do you have similar simulated freedoms, free but need permission for everything? Jack, what are you doing, Bubba? Then I'll be telling them to calm down all the time. What do you have? Oh my gosh, of course. Did you go in my purse again? You better stop. I didn't even notice he went through my purse. What a stinker. He's good at it too. Ooh, good burp. You just ate. You should settle down a little bit, okay? Lee says religion and politics are not important. How we are as a person is what counts, and we find work to do what needs to be done. Donald says, I'll be retiring fully in another 2 years. I will be moving to Santiago, Chile. Very affordable, absolutely one of the most beautiful cities in South America. I love that for you, Donald. That sounds amazing. I may only be slightly jealous, just a tiny bit. Good for you. Lee says, I've seen things in England yesterday that was not right at all. And Carl says there's plenty of work here. He's in Ireland. William says, where, Carl? William says, nice, Donald. I hope you decide to post pictures when you go. I'm kind of the same. Well, I don't know. A little bit of the same mind frame as Lee, as far as just trying to do the next right thing that's right here in front of me and not get so wrapped up in what's going on in the world. Lee says there's work all over the world. It depends on if you have skill or not, or if you can find training. It helps if you drive. Lee says, Kat, we cannot change the world, only be a better person to set ourselves as an example. Hopeful that others be kind, caring, and respecting too. I think we can change the world. If we're projecting the world, when we change our minds, we can change the world. And we bring each other up with us as we go. It's the whole mirror thing. Not only are you reflecting to me my image and what I'm putting out, Lee, thank you for that. I'm also a mirror to you, Lee. It works both ways. So we're bringing each other up. And I think there's a verse in the Bible about worry. And it fits in with one of my teachers telling me when I had a personal situation where I was full of fear, so scared for somebody I love, so worried about what could be happening to them. And she really, really hit home when she told me that my fear was not helping them. It was actually blocking them from all the goodness that's to come for them. Like when you hang on to something you love so hard that you want to protect it, you're blocking the natural energy that's there to help them. And your worry actually hurts them. So I try to see everything in the true light that they are. And understand I don't know what anything is for, but it's all for my best and your best. William has retracted messages. I'm going to call you out. But Lee agreed. He said, yes, William. Oh my gosh. Carl says, I am fed up with certain people. I'm sorry, Carl. You just be your wonderful self and try not to focus on the people you're fed up with. And Carl, I love you. I might sneeze. Lee says you're right. Worry creates fear and discontentment. Be pure of heart and let positivity flow. God will guide us all. Yeah. Your focus is your power. It's what you're bringing more of to you. What you're focused on is what you're going to bring more back to you. So if you're so focused on being discontent with life, you're going to have more stuff coming at you showing why you should be more discontent with life. It's a vicious cycle. That's why gratitude lists and gratitude journals are so dang important, because if you put your focus on what you're grateful for, you're bringing more of it to you. It's a hard shift, but when it happens, it's pretty amazing. And look at that. On my phone, it says 11:11. 11 people and 11 likes. Ooh, got chills. Yeah, Elise says we all live to learn life's lessons, learn, understand, and adjust. That's what I was saying yesterday, that I believe that before we come here, we have a time where we get together with whoever, our teams in spirit, when we're still in spirit, and we plan out, okay, this lifetime I learned this, but I never learned this one thing. I'm going to go and experience all these things so I can learn this one lesson. And we have other people that come into our lives and do things to us that may be not so kind, but it's all for a reason. There's lessons there for us. And you can call it not having free will, but the point is your will and God's will are the same. So take that how you will. And God's will for us is to be happy, always. Lisa's Cat, chapter 11, sentence 11. What does it say, please? Lisa's Cat's looking like a juice car. Thank you. I got a little passionate. 11:11. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me read this out loud. The authority problem is still the only source of conflict because the ego was made out of the wish of God's Son to father him. I'll read the next one just because it's important. The ego then is nothing more than a delusional system in which you made your own father. Thanks, Lee. That was really good. I don't know if William said he was leaving because he retracted, but Donald says, take care, William. Peace, brother. And Lee says, William, I hope I didn't upset you. I apologize. If so, you were right in what you said. I'm guessing that's what you retracted. Jack, please. Boy, you are going to rip my sheets. Stop it. William, if you're upset, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's the case. I know nothing. So I'm going to go with that. I don't know anything. Gray Wolf says, that's a beautiful Irish setter. Thank you. Lee says, God, a cat. Where did that come from? Cat. Thank you. It was needed. And hi, Gray Wolf. Everybody's saying hi. Yogi says, Cat's preaching the truth this morning. Thank you, Yogi. Good morning, Yogi. So funny. Carl says, I only read the Christian Bible. Hey, William, if you're still here, I love you. I'm guessing you're still here because you took whatever you said back and you have not said bye to me. So you're still here. Donald says, Carl, you rock, brother. I couldn't get past the original sin. When my daughter was being baptized, you had to go before the priest and have a little meeting about what it was all about and the symbolism and how your child came in with sin. And if she died before she was baptized, she would go to hell. And that just wrecked me. I was like, okay, all these years of just accepting that I'm a terrible, I'm not even going to go there. But anyways, I had a real problem with that. Donald Hill says, message retracted. I'm going to hit that function disabled. Message retraction function disabled. I do it too. I think about something I said and say all sorts of stuff to myself and then take it off. Or I've gotten better. Now I will just type it in the space, type it in, and then I'll delete it all. Those gates, those yogi gates are getting me. Donald says, the name Gray Wolf is a legend in the trucking industry for us old timers. Lee says, Cat, I don't know what happened and why message retracted. I just hope I didn't upset with what I wrote, but William was right. There is work, etc., but it takes a lot to find the right job. It does. Jack. Thank you. Well, Lee, I don't know. That's the point. We just don't know. So either way, we're just going to love on William because that's what we would do no matter what. See William for who he really is. Love on him so much he finally sees himself. Yes, Lee says agree. He's a friend and always will be. Lee, I have not done a deep dive on your channel, but do you have videos on the stuff you end up making from your finds? And I saw a thumbnail of a very young, thin, redheaded male. And it was on a video where you were recapping your last 2 years of the places you had been. Who was that young man? Lee says no, as I rarely make things. Okay. I just wanted to know if I was missing it. Lee says that was my friend, Ben. He's fire crew. Hey, Jack, are you all right? Jack, are you okay? Lee says he started with my channel when I make things, it's personal and only for the person made. If they wish to share, it's up to them. I just think it would be very neat to see when you find things, you're like, this will make a really nice pendant. I would love to, and you stones, you find stones, you go, that'll shine up really, really beautiful. And I'm like, wow, I'd really like to see what it looks like afterwards. But I can appreciate that you wanting to keep it very special and personal. But I'd still love to see. Lee says Ben's married, 3 kids. He attends fires and takes equipment to scenes to test fire alarms. Are Ben's kids redheads also? I mean, he's a fireman and he's brave, and I respect him for that. And I was thinking how brave and how wonderful people are willing to put their lives at risk to help others. But then my next thought was, I wonder if his kids are redheads. You know, there's this saying that redheads are dying out and that will be extinct before a certain amount of time. I just think that's crap. I see more redheads now than ever. Real redheads. But it might just be the Tennessee Hills. There's a lot of redheads here. Lee says, when things made it for a purpose, like the dog pendant, I'll film that one for you. I like that. And Lee says he's going to be seen at least once more. One girl is a redhead, but one blonde. The other I don't know. I love it. Lee says, Ben started with me 3 years ago. He will always be fond in my heart. I wanted to ask you, how long have you had your channel, Lee? Donald says, there is no recorded instances of a child infant baptism in the Christian Bible. I'm just stating a fact. I'm not starting an argument. Yeah, that's why I stopped. I was going to go on and on and on, but I don't want to insult anybody or start an argument. Because everybody's allowed to have their beliefs. Whatever they find solace in is good. And I know a lot of people find true value in the Bible. And I still go back to the Bible and a lot of sayings that I really resonate with. Like, where I don't even know where. Maybe I can look it up. It's Matthew. It's the one about the bird in the field. Lee says August 6, 2022, started YouTube, but came up in June 2022. It was to create memories and friends. We came up with the idea in June. I got you. I guess I used to listen to a live streamer who talked about starting a YouTube channel. I'm not sure. I know I've had mine for a long time, but didn't get serious about it. I didn't dip my feet into the YouTube waters of posting until this time last year. Lee says, I respect all beliefs and religions. Our own thought patterns can change. Yes. I don't want to take away from anybody's beliefs. That feels like you're being demeaned and devalued, and that's not my intent. I was going to say dismissed, because that's a big word. Trigger much. I think Yogi really nailed it on the head when he said a lot of my issues are from being dismissed as a child. And that's exactly it. My mom would always say, I'd call her with some really deep stuff. Like, if my kid called me and told me stuff that I told my mom, I'd be home. I'd run home I'd run home. And my mom just didn't have time for me. She says, "Oh, Stacia, just stop. I'm really busy." Oh, and I just told you my name. My name that I went by as a kid was Stacia, but people can't say it, so I just go by Cat. Anyway, so dismissal, that's a big thing for me. Being dismissed. So I don't want to do that to anybody else. There we go. Full circle. Brought it around. Carl says, take care of everyone. Bye, Carl. I hope you have a fabulous day, my friend. Donald says, take care, Carl. God bless. Lee says, I needed a place to create memories and make new friends in life. I never had many friends that lived close by. They've always been online. Ben Lee says, be safe, Carl. Carl says, I will, with Tina looking after me. Aw. Which Tina, though? Because you say there's Tina and Tina. The two Tinas. Or did I make that up? Lee says, back, had a few moments listening to the background music. I don't know what background music you were listening to, but I was just really kind of mesmerized by the music here. For a second, kind of zoned out. A moment of reflection. Yeah, same. It's interesting, Lee. Lee says, this year will be the last year I see my personal stone circle. What exactly is your personal stone circle? Where you going, Bob? I know. What's the matter? Oh, what's the matter, huh? Oh, your tummy's talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I heard it. Donald says, the greatest regret I have in life is that I never got to learn how to play the piano. I like the boogie woogie piano. Well, it's never too late to learn. And since you're going to retire to paradise in 2 years, that's a perfect time. Lee says his stone circle, it's a small place where a person could sit or stand, and it dates 800 BC. It was a sacred place by our native people. Yep, and Lee says, Donald, never too late. Please try. Just start it up and enjoy every moment. And the circle was later used as a hermitage. Oh, that's really interesting. Donald says, Magnetic North, I'm Blackfoot and Irish. Lee says, sorry for the spelling error. I didn't even notice, Lee. I have a little story about Blackfoot Indians. I like fun. Lee says, that's cool. I have a bit of Irish in me from Donegal area, the rest German, Celtic, and Viking Danish. Is that where you're going to land, my friend? Are you going to stay there? It's okay. His tummy's talking, which never makes him happy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jackie. Donald says, I tried to learn clarinet and trumpet in school and found out I have the gift of not having any musical talent. Me too. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I still have my guitars and I still have my ukulele and I still play around with them and I don't care. I'd love to be super talented at a musical instrument, but that's just not for me, I guess. So I feel you, Donald. Yogi says Abraham Maslow based his last theory of actualization on the Blackfoot's communal philosophy. Oh, there's our friend Squirrel Sniper. Good morning, Squirrel. Good to see you, friend. Donald says my grandmother raised me. She was born in 1900. I gotta get by the light. When I was young and lived with her everywhere that she went, everywhere she went, a raven would constantly land next to her and follow her. She never fed it. It was a wild raven. Her familiar. How cool. I talk to the crows all the time and try to make friends because they say they always remember their friends and they always remember the people who don't treat them right. So, anyways, I try to make myself a friend out of crows, but nothing yet. That's really cool. I even put a disco ball out in the yard, just a tiny one hanging so it would be all shiny and attract them. I do have plenty around, just not one that has singled me out yet. And Lee says, hi, Mr. Sniper. Or hey, Mr. Sniper. Wow. Donald says, my grandmother could talk sparrows out of the tree, and they would land at her feet as a group. She was a very special woman of our people. Sounds like it. Very in tune. Squirrel says, I get to talk to many a corvid. Yogi says, my disco ball only attracts the funky crows that really like to boogie. Well, that's the kind of crow I want to have as a friend. Of course. Lee at Magnetic North Adventure says, Donald, it sounds like It sounds like she is at one with nature and balance. Yes. Donald's laughing at Yogi, which just encouraged him some more. So he says they like the nightlife. In the disco. I can't even go that high. My mama used to go to the discos. I guess the liquor stores, ABC, used to have like nightclubs in them. So that's where they'd go. She'd go to the ABC and she would, because I was impressionable, she'd call it the American Business College. She sure did dress up sexy for college. Lee says, micros are happy in their Friday night fever stuff. Y'all are too much. So squirrels. Question of the day. Riddle of the day. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Lee says, just imagine a crow in a yellow submarine. LOL. Donald says, I don't have the ability with birds, but with dogs, cats, and horses, I do. They always come to me, even wild strays. They come right up to me and follow me. How lovely. Yogi says, LOL, Lee. All right, Squirrel Sniper says, I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. Lee is guessing a cloud. I just can't see a cloud speaking or hearing. But when you said come alive with the wind, I think about the trees. Like, I always think the trees use the wind to talk, but that still doesn't fit because it's not a general accepted idea that trees hear. And yep, Lisa's a tree. We're so on the same wavelength. Donald says, my grandmother taught me some of the original language, which showed me certain things when I grew up with her. My mother was the same way with birds. That's magical. Okay, Lee says clouds can speak anger and soak you and moves in the wind. Squirrel says nope. Lee's like me, can't stand it. Squirrel, what's the answer? Don't leave us behind. The hear without ears is what's getting me. Because I was thinking whistle. The answer is ... An echo. An echo speaks without a mouth and hears without ears. Yes, it does. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. I think the come alive with wind just got me. Good one, Squirrel. Oh, man. That's what I do. I drop stuff. I had a psychic tell me that. I drop stuff because, and I didn't tell her I dropped stuff. She just said, you drop stuff. You drop stuff a lot because you're looking down. You're looking down. You need to start looking up. Look up more. She meant, not literally, but anyways, very interesting. I still drop stuff. Everybody enjoys your answer, Squirrel. Thank you so much. Lee says, I don't know. Wind kills me, LOL. Yeah, the wind, it can be a beautiful thing, and it can be not so beautiful. I guess it's all perception. And Squirrel says hello to Donald, and Donald says, and I can find water with a willowing rod. My grandmother showed me that. The problem is you have to dig down to get to it. That's really, really very cool, Donald. Squirrel says, what can I channel you today? I'll have to think. You always ask such thoughtful questions, Squirrel. Donald said, I should have said dowsing rod. My bad. I don't know what you said. I can't remember what you said, but I knew what you meant. Squirrel says, now that's my art, Donald. He also likes the dowsing rods. And Lee suggests contentment. to squirrel. Yeah, that's a good one. And I think it's something a lot of us can listen to. An idea about contentment. You can channel us something on contentment, finding contentment in whatever situation we find ourselves in. I have a friend that uses, are they dowsing rods? So they're he uses the two little metal ones. And you ask questions and they move, one way for yes and another way for no. I think that's really interesting. I think it's very similar to muscle testing or using a, what do you call it? I can't even remember what it's called. And Lee says, yes, they are. Copper works best. I wonder if they're when they, because the ones my friend has here, well, they just look silver. I wonder if they have copper inside of them, but it's got this cute little package that it comes in, and he pulls it out, and we use it a little bit. Okay. Cat&Jack. Imagine a blank colorless triangle and then fill it with a color that jumps at you. I will project this color all day. Later, I want that color you choose. So I'm going to mentally imagine this colorless triangle and fill it with the color that automatically just comes to me. And you're going to project it all day. And then I'm going to tell you at the end of the day what my color was. Or will you tell me what color it was? Pendulum, that's the word I meant. I kept thinking of pendant because I have a pendant that I use as a pendulum. On the rare occasions I use a pendulum. Yes, Donald says, I've seen it done with a pendulum. Squirrel says, I have heavy brass ones. Lee says, that's a good one then, Sniper. Sniper will give meaning on the color. Okay. And Squirrel says, exactly. Lee says, Cat, I use a pendulum over map to guide me to areas. I found antique bottle dumps and magnet sites that way. Wow. Lee, you are so in tune. That's amazing. I prefer the term balanced. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Lee says, we are waves of energy. Tunes change, but only when it's right. Is it balanced evenly? Okay. Let's see. Can you see the last bit of that link? It says YGT. Yogi's link, it says YGT. Yogi time. I guess I just think being in tune is being balanced. But I see what you're saying, Lee. You can get up there, buddy, or you just want me to pet your butt. Is that what it is? Hmm? I'm going to get you some yogurt today. Yes. Oh, you're a good boy. Squirrel says he is with the client. He will be right back. I forget it's already daytime over there. Do you have any plans today, Lee? There we go. That's a good boy. Find a spot, sir. That's good. Lee says, yes, Kat. Things happen in the day that change our thought patterns. We adjust to bring it back to balance. And yes, I do have plans for today. What are your plans? Do you care to share? Your plans are a full day's rest, much needed. My energy levels are kaput, and so I need to do zero. Nice. I usually take Tuesdays as a day of rest, but I always feel guilty about it because there's always so much to do. I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And my today's to do is to finish that lawn. The lawn's done. I just have outside the fence areas to do in my driveway. So that'll be 4 days of mowing to get the yard done because I'm a wimp. Donald says everything is about frequencies and electromagnetic pulse. Electronics are disruptors of the natural frequency Hertz frequencies. Hertz frequencies can heal and they can harm when disrupted. Lee says, Donald, well said. I agree. Jack, how'd you get so cute? Hmm? Lee said, I'm currently sat with my sea jasper, recharging my energy. One day I will get a stone cutting machine. Yeah, I think that would be a great investment. I got some kind of jasper when we were in California, a place called Clearwater Beach, or Clearwater anyways. We were on the beach, and my daughter went out and she brought back this white and black or gray stones, and one of them was almost in the shape of a heart, and that is one of my favorites. I don't know what kind of jasper she called it though. But it was littered all over the beach. It's all right, Bubba. One day I will get a stone cutting machine that will make polished minerals. Squirrel says, Donald Hill, that's because we live in an electromagnetic toroidal field and exist on a linear plane. Water has memory and or gravity is not what we are taught. It's what Tesla knew and has been taught. It's incoherent electrostatic acceleration. Those are big words. It gets me confused. And magnetic north is ocean jasper. That's nice stuff. And Donald Hill is agreeing with Squirrel. Oh, I missed something. Donald said also living by salt water and fresh water or even heavy mineral deposits have certain effects and magnify healing frequencies, a lot of different influences in the balance. I agree with the water thing anyways. That's always a main theme in my life. I've always been by water. I remember growing up living just down the road from the beach, so we had we lived on Gulf Street, but we had like the bay in the backyard, and we'd go clamming when the tide was out. And we had horseshoe crabs. And at night, a little skunk family would go across the backyard. It was a really magical place. My mom says I talked to spirits that weren't there. Well, things she couldn't see. She even gave me a name. Squirrel says, as I was saying, the world is not what it seems. I was listening to, is it Graham Norton this morning? Talking about how some of the magical stuff that's out there for us has been suppressed. The information has been suppressed or demonized. It's a big, I just don't know. But sometimes trying to figure it all out is kind of fun. Donald says Tesla was genius, but that information was revealed to him. If you're familiar with how he came across it, even the books about him don't do the justice of the deeper story. Skull says more the latter. It's easier to demonize than hide, as it's hidden in plain sight. Yeah. Yes. Buddy, are you okay? He has gas. It upsets him deeply. Squirrel says in downloads, yes, Donald, I have the same madness. Village Food Season. Hello, Village Food Season. How are you? Good to see you, friend. Guys, Village Food Season is a wonderful friend to have. So welcoming when you go into his live streams, which he does a lot of. Village Food, how have you been doing? Thank you for the like. Let's move that out of my way because we will probably trip on it. It's a good possibility. Squirrel says, right, quick hedge trim, and I'll see you all in Yogi's. I hope, Donald Hill, you can come along. Yeah, a lot of us hang out at Yogi's live stream next, Donald. You might enjoy it. Lee says, I'm going to say I love you all, and I'm signing out. See you soon. Bye, Lee. I love you, Lee. And you have a good day, too. Hey, Jack. Are you all right, baby? Huh? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The food's giving me gas. I'm so sorry. So sorry, baby. You love him. Love him so much. He's so good. He's such a good boy. I love you. Could we stay here all day? Huh? Yeah. You dropped your friend. Where you going? Okay. You go ahead. Do your thing, buddy. You go right on ahead. Oh, he went to bed. Jack never goes to bed. Wow. Are you okay? He's not okay. He doesn't do this. Poor guy. Donald, I didn't see your comment if you're still here. Edison was greedy and a corporate shill. He had no problem with his methods of theft of technology. Not a fan of his. Apparently not. Somebody has to play that part, right? I can't believe he went to bed. I didn't know all that stuff about Edison. I know so little. I think Jack's had it. I think if I go lay down with him, he'll come back up here. Maybe he'll chill for a while. So I am going to end the live stream. We have about 5 minutes and I'll be right back over at Yogi's. I love you guys. Thank you to everybody that chatted, everybody that's in the background. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.